We have reached number 1 on the ballot. In some ways, that is I, Mark Stewart, here. But I am referring now to column 1, yes, the Trump-Biden. And that's what I referred to it as, but maybe I will be disappointing you by taking you now to the bottom part of column 1, where I think you have better choices than Trump or Biden, and I will be choosing somewhere down ballot. There is the libertarian, Jo Jorgensen. Good gal, I've met her. Libertarians have a better philosophy. If empowered, libertarians would create a better America fast, okay? An America that was fairly libertarian up until about the 1890s was a very prosperous place. It can happen again. In fact, there's even less reason for government now than in the 1890s. We have so many more ways of supporting one another in case of crises that the government really should be back to its original intent: defend the country, allow for justice, and maybe do environmental protection. That was not something in the original Constitution, and I don't think it should be done without a constitutional amendment. But libertarians, if empowered by the Constitution, would protect individual rights this way in the environment. Individual rights to water, individual rights to clean air, and you probably need government to do that because individuals just can't pay to do the proper science, do the court fighting that is needed when there's big predatory corporations that are doing a lot of our polluting. That's it. Those are the 3 parts of government that you need at the federal level. Libertarians would roll back everything else. I think that's good. Is it good enough for my vote? I'm not sure, because they could have done a lot better. And they could have been more serious with a presidential pick and be saying, we want prominent conservatarians. And they didn't. As a party, that disappointed me. I think Jo Jorgensen would do a great job if elected. I wish they had propelled her to a lower post and elevated somebody, sought somebody who would be Gary Johnson or better. Okay, former governor twice over. Gary had clout, and you need that to make a serious effort. Now, libertarians can make good efforts on the down ballot where clout is not as important, and I hope they get elected to lots of places. Howie Hawkins is on line for my ballot, 1F. Green Party. Decent guy, but wayward. And the Green Party itself has gone wayward, because if you look at their principles, they're very good. If you then look at their politics, what they espouse for policy, it's as big government as Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton. It is even more strident than Bernie, Hillary, and Elizabeth Warren. So I'm worried about the Greens. I wouldn't mind seeing them elevated to a strong 4th party status, because I would seriously like to diminish the bigness of the 2 big parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. So there is the possibility of a write-in. In most states, write-ins are allowed if candidates let them be written in. So you can't write in Donald Duck and have it count. You can't write in Kanye West unless he has allowed his name to be written in. They call it write-in eligible in your state. I don't think he will in Connecticut. There's still a few more days for that. Rocky De La Fuente will, and if so, he may get my vote. Rocky, who I've met, talked with a lot, is a good guy. He's on ballots in 19 states. It's a serious enough effort with either the Reform Party or the Alliance Party. It depends on the state. And again, write-in eligible in almost all the other states. It's a reasonable vote when you are repelled by either the 2-party system or the candidates that they've put forward. And that's where I am. Why not Trump? Because he's presided over maybe the worst time in America, certainly the worst time since the 1960s, maybe the worst time ever. Now, he had a lot to fight. Media that will never be in his corner. COVID, which we still don't know its causes or how to avoid it. So this is a tough battle to fight, but by acquiescing to a $6 trillion spend, he's not conservative. By restricting trade, that's not conservative either. And by allowing certain businesses to then get exempted, that is a big government manipulator. He's acted about the same way we feared Hillary Clinton would. Now, he's acted in very good ways on foreign policy, okay? A or A minus on foreign policy. But it's a C minus on domestic policy. It's a D. He hasn't killed anybody, so it's not F. But it's a D on comportment. Those three elements are what I consider to be the biggies for president. Of the three, foreign policy is most important, and so the A holds up, but not a good enough, okay? Republicans could have done better. I will be withholding. If there were a gun to my head, and I was told, you must vote for either Biden or Trump, or we will shoot you. It's Trump. That is not a ringing endorsement, okay? Trump with a gun to my head, okay? I don't think he'll be calling on me for an endorsement in the last few weeks. All right, so why not Biden? For every conceivable reason. Biden's a decent guy, but he brings with him Beto O'Rourke, Bernie Sanders, Tom Steyer. He's already pledged high-level positions to all three of them. What's wrong with them? O'Rourke would make people in urban areas dramatically less safe. He will take away guns. He is strident about this, more strident than anyone that the NRA has feared. Tom Steyer, he's a Green New Deal guy. It's a ludicrous proposal, and he's bought in. And that's not even for politics like some of Congress did. He was behind this for the last 10 years. The Green New Deal is crazy. It is literally crazy. And yet Biden's going to bring him in. Bernie's a Marxist. Okay? Bernie will do for Joe Biden what Eugene Debs. He's worse than Debs. He's worse than Norman Thomas, the socialist who ran for president a lot. Those guys want to help workers. Bernie only wants to help these effete progressives and see the rest of both workers and owners and employees for owners suffer. His idea of justice is best put in Cuba or North Korea, and Biden's elevated him too. He hasn't yet come around to bringing on AOC, but she may be the force behind Biden. He's not a strong man, and he will let the worst militant progressives have their way. Biden is the worst vote on the ballot. You can't vote for him. We're in trouble either way. Okay? I think the third-party vote or the even non-party petitioning on the write-in ballot is a wise vote at this time. I would love to blow down the two-party system. Look what they've given us. For the last two elections, the four nominees, only one, Trump 2016, I think was a good candidate. Okay? At this point, too much baggage. Biden's bad, and Hillary was awful. Okay? 3 nominees out of 4, horrible. And look, you can go all the way back. I don't think you really had great nominees since Clinton, maybe, Reagan, certainly. Aside from that, nobody since Kennedy. Okay? That is a badness of the two parties that end up nominating, for different reasons, people who are not the best. Go with a parliamentary system. We could potentially have it. The Constitution allows it. That's where I would like to see, and more third-party votes move us that way. All right, that's my column 1. Remember, columns 2, 3, 4, and 5 probably have more impact in your life. Take them seriously. Thanks for taking me seriously these 10 minutes. I'll see you on November 4th.